Hello and welcome. Our guest, Paula Vail. She is a certified Reiki Master and wellness educator who transitioned from a 30-year restaurant career to founding Wellness Inspired after Reiki helped her ailing dog. She hosts the radio program Elevating Your Life in Southern California and is the author of two books, the award-winning Why Am I So Happy and a best-selling Reiki training manual. Her work has received recognition, including Top Wellness Professional from Preferred Professionals Network. We'll discuss her approach to energy healing, the research behind Reiki, and her methods for teaching resilience. Hi, Paula. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you so much. I am just honored to be your guest.
Oh, we're going to have some fun. Let's start with that powerful moment with your dog that introduced you to Reiki. How did that experience reshape your path?
Wow, it was a life changer. It was my dog, Shotzi. The picture is behind me.
Mm.
And I had her her whole life. She was then 14 and she had a tumor removed and was not doing well. And someone said, this was 26 years ago, you should learn Reiki. So I studied it, I learned it. It helped her so much. I had her 2 more years.
Oh.
And I just fell in love with the modality of Reiki. I went and received my master training in Machu Picchu.
Okay.
And it was just amazing. And what I've seen in all the years practicing and teaching Reiki and seeing it's just been amazing and life-changing.
Well, you went from running a very successful restaurant for 30 years to becoming a wellness practitioner. That's quite a leap. What were the biggest hurdles in that transition, and how did you overcome them?
Wow. In my restaurant years, it started with I started working there at Lorenzo's during college. And then I managed it for several years. And then I bought it. And I loved it. I loved it. It taught me so much. My whole life I've felt like I have a server's heart. And I love smiling, sharing a compliment. And I just so support and love entrepreneurs, business owners. It was so wonderful. And it's the reason I call my book, Why Am I So Happy? Because people would say, why are you so happy? Life must be perfect. Well, my life wasn't perfect. I had many challenges, and I do share quite a few of those in my book. But, you know, still, the direction we take our thoughts and our emotions, resentment, anger, joy, gratitude, I mean, that affects everything, how we feel, where our thoughts go.
Yeah.
And it's like the challenges, I would be angry, but then I think, like when I lost a loved one, am I going to be angry I lost them, or am I going to be grateful I had them in my life? And there you go.
Absolutely.
But running the restaurant was so wonderful for me. And when I finally made the decision to sell it, it was a tough decision. I just really loved it. And my Reiki I fell in love with and doing that. And then it was 9 years ago, a radio network reached out to me and asked me to host a show about Reiki. So that was my first radio show. And so I was really scared. I was like, oh, thousands of people listening. Okay, I got to think
Yeah.
about it. Get back to me. And sure enough, a couple months later, Paula, we really want you to host a show. Okay. And I was really nervous, and I wanted to end the show with love, hugs, and blessings. And I thought, oh, everybody's going to think I'm a weirdo. But after a couple months, I just said, you know what? I have to be me. I'm going to
Yeah.
be me.
Yeah. Being your authentic self sometimes
Yeah.
can be challenging when we're on the air. But as soon as we grasp that, I think that's where the freedom comes from.
Yes. And it just, I fell in love with it. And now the show is on AM radio and TV in California. And I just love it. And to me, it's such a blessing with, you know, elevating your life to talk to people from around the world. And yesterday I interviewed a woman in Estonia.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's such a blessing to for us to be able to interview and share our amazing guests. And I never dreamed years ago that's what I would be doing.
Absolutely.
And, you know, ah, so much to it. It's just beautiful. And we can go on a path that we didn't think we would ever go on.
Mhm.
And that's an exciting thing about life. It really is.
Well, if you had to explain Reiki to someone who's never heard of it, like say a busy parent or a skeptic, how would you describe what it does?
Boy, it's, you know, it's so wonderful. It's almost beyond words. But basically, it's just connecting with our life force energy. It it's very scientifically backed, actually. And there's been a lot of studies on it and scientifics, but it's basically tapping into our life force energy. And when you give yourself Reiki or you offer Reiki to someone, it's basically putting them in this just beautiful energy bubble. It actually, tests have shown that Reiki boost is a huge boost for our immune system. Huge boost. A college in Oregon did a study a few years back
Okay.
and came up with a really great article. But basically, it's working with our energy field, and our energy field tells our DNA what to do. It affects our emotions, it affects us physically. So it can help with emotions, it can help with physical pain, it can boost our immune system. And studies of long distance Reiki, which is something we can do. You can send Reiki to someone across the planet. It's amazing. And they've
Okay.
done studies on that. And they've done studies on, like, I've gone into hospitals and given people Reiki and before surgeries, and they've done actual studies. People that receive Reiki before and after surgeries, they heal faster, they're on less meds, and it's amazing. It's basically our energy and tapping into that, and you know, it just has huge
Well, you're
benefits.
also a level 3 master in serenity vibration healing. How does that work alongside Reiki? And what unique benefits does it offer?
That basically is pretty much just working with the Reiki and studying and focusing on our vibration level. Every emotion puts us in a particular vibration level, like anger, fear are very low vibration levels. Love, kindness, gratitude are high vibration levels. And when we reside in a higher vibration level, our body will heal, we will attract positivity, and it will have a huge effect on us. So I'm very passionate about the vibration levels. It's very interesting, very interesting.
Tell us about a time when you saw one of your students or clients have that real light bulb moment where everything just clicked for them.
Oh gosh. Okay, an example might be I had someone call, and her husband had been injured in a motorcycle accident and lost his arm, and he had what's called phantom pain.
Okay.
And she asked if I could give him Reiki. I said yes, and they came in, and he obviously was like, my wife is crazy.
Hmm.
She's making me do this, da 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 da. And he received a Reiki session, and he was like, oh, I feel good. I feel better. Oh, thank you. You know, he just totally,
That was a real light bulb moment.
it was a
Yeah.
light bulb moment. So I've seen things like that. I I had years ago a woman in Seattle contact me. Her daughter had been seriously injured, a 19-year-old, and was in a lot of pain, could hardly, her vision was affected. And so she came for some Reiki sessions, and the daughter swore it brought her vision back. And then I gifted that woman a Reiki class so she could give her daughter Reiki. And I mean, I have seen so much over the years. And with animals, animals love Reiki. I have clients that bring their dogs, cats. Someone one time brought a chicken. I mean, but animals love it. And how they can react, they can like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
I gave Reiki to a giraffe in Africa, and then he was following me around.
Oh. You know, your book, Why Am I So Happy? I love the title. What was the spark that made you sit down and finally write it?
My whole life since high school, I loved English class, and I said to myself, someday I'm going to write a book. And when I turned 60, I said, I'm going to write my book. And I just started making notes and notes and notes, and then put it together. And then, oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's won multiple awards,
Hmm.
medal from the Global Book Association. Last May, it was given a feature in Times Square. And
That's exciting.
actually, a screenplay has been written uh, for a movie. I mean, it's just, you just never know. And, you know, I just finally put it together, and I share some personal stories. But part of it was I'm going to share things I went through because, you know, to give the message to others that they're cared about and they're not alone.
Right.
And, you know, we can get through our challenges, and we can be happy. And yeah, and it's got a lot of, you know, I call them happiness triggers. You know, we all have our own unique happiness trigger. It can be like me, listening to my music in the morning and dancing around the kitchen.
That's a great way to start the day.
It is. And it can just kind of set the tone for your whole day. And it's actually a proven fact. Like if we're smiling for like 2, 3 minutes, it it triggers happiness and high vibration emotions. I mean, it's fascinating. It really is.
Well, if readers could take away just one thing from your book, what would you want that to be?
Uh, um, I would say that you can celebrate you. You are unique like no one else. You are beautiful and you are loved. And, and I'm, you know, I believe the angels are with us. You're surrounded, but just know you're not like everyone else. You are your own beautiful self.
Hmm.
And celebrate that and love yourself for that every day.
That's beautiful. Oh, that really is. You know, your Reiki training manual is a bestseller as well. What's something your approach, but that teaches others that other manuals might overlook?
Mine is very true to authentic Reiki. And there's a lot of studies behind it. And it shares, you know, the benefits, how we can do it. Anyone can learn Reiki. It's something for all of us, and what it can do. And sharing Reiki, like I've given Reiki at a local homeless shelter and sharing with animals and others. I mean, it's a beautiful gift, and it's a gift for us too. Giving Reiki to someone is a gift for us too, because we receive healing as well. It raises our vibration, and it's just really a beautiful modality. And that's kind of what my book is focused on. Yeah.
Well, we touched on it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to see what made you decide to take your message to the airwaves with elevating your life. And after 6 years, what surprised you most about hosting?
Mm. I think, I started out with just a show about Reiki and then thought, I want to branch out. And so that's why I'm with Elevating Your Life. And I think that and my passion for the show, of course, loving meeting wonderful guests and hosts like you, is I was born a premature baby,
Okay.
less than 3 pounds.
Wow.
The doctors told my parents, do not expect her to survive the night. And I'm here. So I've always had gratitude for life, and it created in me the vision of I want to be a positive energy in the world. I'm grateful I'm here. And doing my show for me is given me a tool for that. I can share all these amazing guests and information, inspiration around the world. And I am just so grateful for that. And I had no idea years ago I would ever be a show host. But
No, yeah.
I've always believed we have in this hand, this is what I want to create. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to study for. Okay, and that's a great thing. But you know what? In this hand, it can just be wide open to what may come to you, what opportunities, what direction you may end up going. So I think that's a wonderful thing, just a wonderful thing, being open to something you may never have even dreamed of.
Yeah, and you also touched on the fact that it's a choice. Being positive is a choice.
It really, really is. And it's, where our thoughts, we choose where our thoughts go. Our thoughts go, then can, affect the emotions. But we make the choice, of what we're going to think about, if we're going to be grateful, if we're going to be angry. I mean, because life around us it's a big puzzle. We've
Yeah.
got a lot of everything around us, but we make the choice what we're going to focus on. And, just I'm happy to just be someone that's in the grocery store and there's a good song on and I dance while I'm shopping. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's a happiness trigger for me. So I'm like, take the time, even with the busy life around us, give yourself some happiness triggers and time in the moment. Because it's so easy to get out of the moment and think, well, I got to do this. This has to get done, or I wish that
Check the
happened.
list. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy a sunset or enjoy making some muffins or working in the yard, whatever makes you happy, or just give yourself a few moments and it will just set the tone on where you're going and how you're feeling.
You've interviewed many, many fascinating guests. Has there been one conversation that stuck with you or even changed how you think about wellness?
Oh, yeah, there's been some really amazing stories. Uh, I think one that really, really amazed me was a woman on the East Coast who was out uh, running. She was run over by a semi.
Oh my goodness.
He did not know he hit her, and people stopped it. But literally, she was dragged under a semi. She was in a full body cast, so many broken bones, they quit counting. She died 3 times.
Hmm.
Saw the angels, totally changed her life and her perspective. I'm very fascinated with with that type of thing, and done a lot of studies and interviews on that. people passing and what they see and coming back. It's amazing. And there's been people that have just done for others, had life-changing things. Like one gentleman, he was working, he worked in the Twin Tower, the first one that got hit.
Okay.
And that morning he was late to work because his son needed help with homework. So he was just up on the 30th floor getting on another elevator when the plane hit. His office was on the 50th floor. He helped people down, and someone that he put in an ambulance, he was going to go back in to help people, but she begged him, no, please go with me to the hospital. So he did, and then the building crashed. So 2 times that day, he was saved.
Yeah.
You know, and what that did for him, and he wrote a book about it, and it's just there's been some amazing stories. There's been a few times in interviews where I've teared up.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been honored with awards like Top Wellness Professional and featured in Preferred Health Magazine. How do you
Yeah.
reflect on those recognitions?
Oh, I'm very, very grateful and honored. And it's just amazing. I'm grateful whenever I'm given an award or something like that. And it was about 2 years in of doing my show. I was featured on the cover of the Women of Distinction magazine in New York. And then a news organization contacted me, and they do one free post in Times Square a year. And they chose me. And I was just grateful. My friends were saying, well, how big, where? I said, it doesn't matter. I'm just grateful. I sent a picture, my information, and said, will you just send me a picture where it's going to be? And I thought it'd be like an 8x10 in a window somewhere. And when they sent the picture of an 8-story billboard, I literally stopped breathing.
8-story billboard. That's
In
amazing.
Times Square. So it just shows you never know. You
You
never
never
know.
know.
And
Well, we always
that's,
say, I know
hand wide open.
yeah, and with my son, I'm always saying, what goes around comes around. So if you're putting out the positive, it'll eventually come back to you.
Yes, that is so true. You
Yeah.
put out like an act of kindness.
Mhm,
Yes, you're helping someone, but oh my gosh, that's a gift to you too.
mhm.
Being a kind person. And it can be something as simple as holding a door for someone, or helping someone, or giving them a compliment or a hug when they need it. I mean,
And I'm very conscious of even sometimes just making eye contact with somebody and giving them a smile because to be
mhm,
acknowledged is what it's all about.
yes. Oh, the power of a smile is
Yeah.
so amazing. And I've always felt it's amazing how, you can go in a crowded room and have a big smile on your face, and it's going to affect the,
Yeah.
the room. You know, simple things like that. They don't cost money.
No.
They're free. And there's
Mhm.
something we can do, and that attracts positive energy. It attracts manifestations. It's really beautiful.
With such a demanding career, how do you personally recharge and stay inspired?
Oh gosh. Well, start my day with a morning prayer and do my Reiki. I have multiple pets. My dream is one day to have a nonprofit animal rescue.
Oh.
That's my life dream. And just kind of, family, friends, give myself my happiness triggers, and yeah.
Well, we talked about it a little bit. What's on your horizon? Any new projects, any new goals you're excited to share?
Boy. Well, I am excited that a fantastic film company in California uh, wants to do a movie about my book.
That's
We
so
got to see.
exciting.
So that's really exciting.
What stage is it
And
at?
the stage of the screenplay's been written,
Okay.
and then it takes several months. They, figure it out and do, and then you fly to California. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited that a big publishing company is interested in my book. So a lot of things, and I'm been making some notes. I'm going to be writing another book about angels. So I'm looking forward to
Well,
that.
finally, for someone who's just starting on their own transformation, whether it's personal or maybe professional, what's your best piece of keep going advice? Because we all need that.
Remember that everything is one step at a time, one step at a time. And sometimes we can step up and we end up falling back. That doesn't work, or it goes this way. But just continue. And actually, like I start my day with, saying yes to my body's health, yes to abundance, yes to helping others, animals, and the planet. Put that out there,
Yeah.
because that does attract the energy for that happen. And then not just put it out there. When you want something, I want this to happen. Instead, I say yes to this happening.
Okay.
Envision it already there. But it is one step at a time. And just be grateful to yourself for taking those steps. And sometimes, we do have to go a different direction, but, just celebrate the fact you're doing it, and be open to opportunities or paths that may come that you had not even envisioned.
The one hand wide open.
Yes, yes.
Exactly. Paula Vail, thank you for sharing your expertise on Reiki, wellness, and holistic healing with us. It was such a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And for our listeners who want to explore more, you can find Paula's books, classes, and radio show at wellnessinspired.com or follow her on Patreon. If this conversation resonated with you, please consider leaving a review and sharing talking points with Preferred Health Magazine with others who might benefit. Until next time, take care and may your journey be filled with peace and balance. Be well.